Well, good morning. This is Bill Newton, Lions Paw Productions in Concord, North Carolina, and I'm going to make a short, hopefully a short. When I start out like that, usually it ends up being longer, but a short comment on what's going on. And I'm watching off to my left. You can't see it, obviously. My television. I'm seeing the Fox News, and I'm watching that with regard to some of these events that have been taking place over the last few days, week, month, whatever. And it looks like there's a snowball effect, I'll call it that, where the Democrat Party and Sean Hannity has named four other groups, Deep State and all this other stuff, that are in concert, working in concert to get rid of Donald J. Trump. That I'm using nice words here. That idiot that has been elected by somebody to the U.S. government named Maxine Waters. She's been saying impeach 45, impeach Trump for a long time. I think it was November 9th. She even started it. And there's others that are following her lead. And everything has been building to this point. I think that they're going to impeach, if they can, Donald Trump. And they're going to justify it. They're going to say, well, he deserved it because he was nothing more than a Russian agent, a mole in the White House, and that Putin pays him. And they got all sorts of stuff that are going on. And now they've got this special counsel or special investigator or prosecutor or whatever it is named, who's an ex-FBI head, if I'm not mistaken. And he's heading up this special prosecution investigation. And what I understand from these people, like the one that did with Clinton, and there was one that did for Nixon, they don't go in with the idea that the person and the thing that they're investigating is innocent. They go in with the presumption that everything's guilty and they got to prove them innocent. Even when they have people they interview and they impanel a grand jury and they bring people before the grand jury and decide whether they're going to bring charges. Now, this Yahoo called James Comey, who was the FBI director, he, according to what I understand is a fact, he became more than an FBI director. He became the Attorney General, which he had no business doing. No matter if Loretta Lynch stepped aside, she didn't recuse herself. She just sort of handed it over to James Comey. Well, that was an offense. She can't transfer the responsibilities of the Attorney General's office over to the director of the FBI, and he can't assume them. It should have been like a rebound wall. When they threw him the ball, it should have bounced back to her. But she was trying to look like she was keeping her hands off this Hillary Clinton issue, Benghazi and all that. But she's up to her neck deep in that. So this new special investigator or new prosecutor, whatever he is, he's not going in with the idea that Donald Trump and the Trump campaign was innocent until proven guilty. That's not how it works. They go in with the idea that the whole thing is as it seems. All the allegations and the innuendos and the leaks and everything else are facts until they prove them that they're not facts. And they usually dig around like they did with Bill Clinton. They started out with Whitewater. I'm just repeating what I've heard. And I saw it. I was alive back then when this was going on in the 1990s. They started out with Whitewater investigation, and they ended up with Monica Lewinsky, and tried to impeach him on that inappropriate activity with a I think she was an intern or something like that back then. Of course, it didn't work, and like they've said, his ratings became better and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't think that they're going to let it go with Donald Trump. Even if this special counselor or whatever the investigator comes up with zero, zilch, nothing, and he doesn't bring any charges, the Democrat Party will not be happy. They will think that they've been tampered with. They will call for another special investigator, another independent counsel, they'll keep it going because what they want to do is one of three things. Either impeach Donald Trump completely and get him out of there, or force him to resign like Nixon did, or get thrown in jail. And then he'll be forced out of office, obviously, because he'll be in jail. Well, they just don't want him in there. And it doesn't make any difference what happens. They could come up with people lined up with documentation that's been verified that proves nothing happened in the campaign or in the presidency that remotely connected Donald Trump and his campaign or Donald Trump and his cabinet and all that stuff with Russians as a collusion factor. There's no doubt that the Soviet Union, the Russian people, government, tried to interfere with the election of not only America but other countries. That's a given. Nobody, I think, that supports Donald Trump, who's got a brain in their head, can understands that is not a possibility or a fact. The Russians were trying to hack the elections, but to link that desire of the Russians to hack our elections to the win of Donald Trump over Hillary Clinton and a collusion on Donald Trump's part with the Russians is not even in the mix. But the Democrat Party and other very powerful and wealthy people around D.C. are trying to make it look that way. So the mainstream media and other people, they're putting out all this, I call it garbage or bovine dung about Donald Trump, are just lying. Now, I'm going to say this as I'm closing. I am not carrying the water, so to speak, for Donald Trump. I voted for him, but I don't think he's perfect. I don't think he is the man. He is one of the men, and so far he's proven to be a man of his word. But if I don't miss my bet, the people that are working on this thing behind the scenes in the intelligence community and other places in the Congress and Senate, including Republicans, are not going to be happy until Donald Trump is out, because he poses a threat to their way of life, their crooked way of life. Now, he went into the presidency, of course, and into D.C. thinking he was going to drain the swamp and make changes. He's finding out that's not the case. People that go into D.C., no matter what they are, senator, congressman, page, anything, with good intentions, that thing, that organism, I'll refer to it like that, that thing called the Washington, D.C. political realm will change them. The swamp will change them. They will turn into a swamp creature. Now, that's what I see. It may be much more going on than this behind the scenes. And of course, we'll never know unless somebody's honest one day and comes out and says, yeah, I know, and stops this stuff. Well, that's confidential. We can't say that in a public forum, blah, blah, blah. Just say it. You don't have to give away assets. You don't have to give away things that are really sensitive about details. but you can say, generally speaking, yes, we have an investigation going on. We don't have to give details of how we're doing it or who we're doing it to, but there is an investigation going on. Don't say, oh, we can't comment on that in an open forum. We have to do it behind closed doors. That's a wormy way out. Anyway, this has been Bill Newton, Lions Paw Productions, Concord, North Carolina, and that's been my commentary on this icky situation that has developed over the last few months. Have a good day.